Started, sir.
Started recording.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Electromagnetic induction. So to understand it, first I think I should maybe introduce flux, magnetic flux, and then we will understand electromagnetic induction also.
Sir, yesterday there was a question on magnetic flux, sir.
They asked it. See,
Yes.
they do strange things sometimes. Therefore, I never trust them. They could ask anything. Magnetic flux was yesterday only. How they asked it yesterday? They could not have asked it. Although I think you could have done it, because you know the way electric flux is there, electric field into area, same way magnetic flux also magnetic field into area. If magnetic field is uniform, then it is simply other. If it is not uniform, then we have to integrate by this way, B dot dA integral. That will be magnetic flux.
Integration only, sir, not uniform.
Integral. If it is non-uniform, then integration. If it is uniform, then B can be taken out. If B is constant, if B is constant in magnitude and direction, then B can be taken out. Then flux will become B dot dA integral, which can be just written as B dot area vector. How to find out the area vector? That depends on the situation. What is the, for example, if I have any loop is there in which, let us say, like a slow film, and I am stretching that slow film to blowing the balloon out of that slow film, then what would be the area of that effective area? Effective area will be in the single plane. I can take it. That plane area in which this loop is contained, that plane area will be effective area. If I don't have a plane loop in a single, the boundary of the surface, if it is not in a single plane, if the boundary of surface is not in a single plane but in multiple planes, then in each plane I have to take separate area. But don't think that there will be infinite such areas. Infinite will never be there. Maximum how many area vectors can have how many components? Maximum number of components possible are 3.
3, sir.
So even if they are giving very complicated looking loop, for example, they may give a loop, although they will not give complicated. Why would they give that? But anyway, let us say there's an imaginary loop I'm taking, something like this, going in a very complicated fashion, very strange fashion. But if you want to really find out what is this area vector, then I recommend you a very simple trick. Take its projection in X, it is Y, it is Z. Take its projection in XZ plane once, YZ plane once. Let us say it comes out to be this. Then take its projection in XZ plane. Let us say it comes out to be this. Then take its projection in YX plane. Once all these projections are taken, then we are getting those area vectors, because we have 3 components of area vectors. Now you may ask me this question, that how to take the projection if it is a very complicated. Obviously, if it's some complex function which we don't even know what that function is like, obviously we can't take the projection. But therefore they will not ask such questions also. But they can ask questions based on some simple geometries, like maybe a circle which is inclined at certain angle. If such kind of question is asked, then for circle we can do in another way also. If I know at what angle it is inclined, maybe if I can take the perpendicular to the circle, that will be its area vector. That will be the area vector. So means we can get area vector somehow. Okay. So once we know area vector, then we can find out in case of constant magnetic field, very simple answer, just directly B into area vector. But in case of non-uniform magnetic field, not much stuff, depends on the integration. If integration is easy, we can do this also easily. Okay. Depends on the integration. Now, let me, okay, this is not required here. Let us remove it. Or maybe I will keep it just to remind you what the discussion was going on at that time. I will keep it here. Okay, next. So we know what the magnetic flux is. Few examples I can take, and you have to find out the magnetic flux. In those cases, let us say, also again, last time I discussed, but let me discuss it again. B dot ds in a closed surface will always be equal to 0. This can be regarded as equivalent to Gauss law in magnetism, I can say. Or no, that means just, we don't have a name for it actually, because it is a common understanding that magnetic field lines always form closed loop, because magnetic field lines always form closed loops And because they form closed loop, and we know magnetic flux, the way electric flux is represent, what is electric flux meaning? Number of electric field lines crossing a
per unit
area.
area.
Similarly, not per unit area. If I say number
Given
of just area crossing through area. Similarly, magnetic flux can also be defined in the same way. Magnetic flux represents number of magnetic field lines, magnetic field lines crossing on through an area. Magnetic flux represents number of magnetic field lines crossing through an area. And because through any closed surface area, the magnetic field lines entering will be equal to magnetic field lines leaving, and hence total magnetic field lines always passing through a closed surface area will be 0. Through any closed surface area, if we take closed surface area, then number of magnetic field lines entering will also be equal to number of magnetic field lines leaving always, because they form a closed loop. Okay. This way, or whatever shape or whatever number of field lines may be there, always number entering will be equal to number leaving. So magnetic flux will be, where it is entering, their magnetic flux will be taken as negative. Why it is taken as negative? I told you by convention, area vector will be taken always pointing outwards. So area vector will always be pointing outwards from the perpendicularly outwards. In fact, it will always be pointing perpendicularly outwards. This is area vector. Similarly here, this is area vector. In different places, different directions. And depending on the situation, we will get some places obtuse angle, some places acute angle, but net flux will come out to be 0. Positive will cancel negative. Now, let us take this problem which I want you to take. Due to infinite wire, what is magnetic flux passing through a simple surface? I am taking rectangular surface. Can you find out what is the magnetic flux passing through this? Due to
Sir,
infinite wire.
is it in the same plane, sir?
It is in the same plane. Let us consider a simplified case I am taking first. We can ask that question also where it is not in the same plane. Right now I am giving you in the same plane. And tell me what is the magnetic flux. I am giving you the closest distance is R1. The farthest distance is R2. And height of this H.
Parallel
How
to
to
the
do?
plane of this.
How to find the flux first of all?
Taking a small rectangular element.
Exactly right. Taking a small rectangular element. Let's say this is the rectangular element here. Maybe this one. What is the flux passing through this rectangular element?
I by mu naught I by 2 pi r
dr
into dr into h.
b into h into
HDR.
dr integral. That it will be. This will be the flux. What is b value? As you said already, mu naught into I by, for infinite wire, from minus infinity to plus
2 pi r,
infinity
sir. 2 pi r.
upon 2 pi r, and r is a variable here. R has to be taken inside the integration. H is not a variable. H can be taken out. Only inside will remain 1 by r dr. Remaining I can take outside the integration. Limit going from r varies from r1 to
R1 to
r2. Then simple log
of R2 by R.
Get h by 2 pi
2
into
pi
log.
ln of r2 by r1. That is the flux value. Let us take magnetic flux in some other scenario where it is not in the same plane. How to do in that case? If it is maybe, let me give 3-dimensional view. This is x-axis. Wire is lying along y-axis. So x, y, z, and I. And I'm giving you a plane like this here, and making an angle maybe theta with x-axis, and then I am taking a line which is again parallel to x-axis, again parallel to x-axis, and along this line I am taking the loop.
Parallel to the plane of
This is a loop through which we want to find out the flux.
Sir, base is parallel to x-axis.
This base is parallel to x-axis, correct only, and the other line is parallel to y-axis. These vertical lines are parallel to y-axis. There are two horizontal lines; those are parallel to x-axis. This theta angle is just representing the position that at where it is located. It is located at a distance r. This end, closer end, A point is located at a distance r at an angle theta with x-axis. How to find for this case? Not complicated. You know what we are going to do always? You can take it in general.
Cos theta.
Take a plane here, this plane, radial plane, which is passing through plane which is passing through the y-axis. Take such a plane. Taken. Now along that plane, take the circular arc with this radius, means let us say I'm connecting y to c.
Can look current flow through
Y
the
to c I'm connecting. Let us call this as RC, and this is equal to RD, distance up to D point. RD and RA are same, and RA and RB and RC are same. You understand that RB and RC will be same. RB, RC
You
will
know
be
by
equal to
r theta, sir.
huh?
By Amperian loop we can solve it.
By Amperian loop. We can do what?
We can take this length as r theta by, because current flow through this plane is 0 no.
Through which plane it is 0? It through this plane the current flowing is 0, right?
So if you take circular arc here, you drawn one plane no, sir, from y axis.
From y-axis I have taken one plane as right.
Current flow through that is 0.
Current flow through that plane will be 0. Yes, right.
Then we can apply Amperian loop in that.
What you will be getting? B dot dl. I'm asking different thing. Flux is not B dot dl. That is line integral. Flux is B into ds integral.
Okay.
What were you thinking? Flux is different thing, no? What I'm doing here, listen. Then you will understand it, I think so. I am taking this red color line. This is nothing but a projection of that area. Not projection also, we can say. What we can say is, I'm drawing one area here, this red colored area, and I am, let me make it yellow color.
You're making it a part of cylinder.
Let me tell you what I'm doing here. This area you notice here. Whatever flux is passing through this area, same will be going through this phase also, right or not? Because magnetic field lines will be in circular loops. Magnetic
yes,
field lines
sir.
will be in circular
Yes,
loops.
sir.
So whatever passes through this yellow area, that only will be passing through this. But it is easy to find through the yellow area. We have already done that. What is through the yellow area? Yellow area is in the same plane. In last question I have asked that the loop is in the same plane as the wire. So now yellow loop is in the same plane as the yellow surface in the same plane as that of wire. Therefore, if I'm able to find through the yellow surface by using the formula which I derived in the last question, then I can find through the other surface also, because both of them contain same flux. Understood, right, this idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the main idea. By this, we can get the answer easily. Okay. Just visualize it properly, then we can get answer. So what is the answer now? I think you can quickly answer it. If RC is given and RA is given, then we and this height H is given, then sorry. Height H is given. And the height H is given. Then we can get answer easily. Flux passing through A, B, C, D is same as passing through A, B dash, C dash, D. Therefore, what we can say? Flux will be equal to same formula as last time we derived. Mu naught into
Mu naught H by 2
I into H by
of
2 pi ln. I'm not integrating again. I'm just using the last formula which we derived before. Log of here RC by RD or equivalently RB by RA, because RC and RB are equal. Same means you understand. Assume that RC and RD were given, then we are writing in terms of RC. What is RC and RD, by the way? RC is the perpendicular distance of C point from the axis, and RD is the perpendicular distance of D point from the axis. RC, RA, RB, RC, and RD are perpendicular distances of corresponding points from the wire or from y-axis, from the wire or from our y-axis. Similarly, if I ask you this,
Sir, once you answer, sir, before question.
yes. Question was find phi through ABCD. This was the question. Minus infinity to plus infinity. Next. Again, let us take infinite wire only.
Could you
And this
please
time-
once scroll up, sir?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now let me take different case again. This time I'm taking a triangle instead of a rectangle. For the triangle, can you find it out? Triangle is complicated. Circle is also complicated. Both are difficult. Circle is also quite tough. In fact, involves tough integration. Have you done integration already in maths or not?
yes sir, completed. sir.
Last this week only
Complete
completed.
integration done.
Yes, sir.
Then it will not be tough for you. But normally, usually, if integration is not done in mathematics, then I would not take that question. But now I can take. I think you will be able to integrate. Okay. So one question is about this. First of all, if they ask for the rectangle, a triangle, then I can split it into two right-angled triangles, separately for one right-angle triangle and separately for the other this other right-angle triangle. In two parts we will do. Okay, and that is a way to do this question. So can we determine for any one of the right-angle triangle? If you are able to determine for one right-angle triangle, then I can get the flux by subtracting the flux from the rectangle flux, right or not? You understood? If I want to get what is the flux through this rectangle,
Half of rectangle.
so mainly our interest is mainly to determine through the right angle triangle, because once we know through the right angle triangle, we can determine through any other triangle also. That will not be a tough task. Okay. What is flux to this? Tell me now. what will be the flux?
The length and all.
And also, if triangle is not in the same plane, what you would be doing? Then it will be tough, very tough, I think so. Why it would be tough? Mainly because even the projection of this hypotenuse will be, I think, curvilinear. If we take its projection along this, that will become curvilinear. So here, for the case of triangle, at least, I'm not assuming the triangle to be out of the plane. I'm assuming triangle to be lying in same plane as that of this wire. Then only it will be easy. Let us take the distance from here to be R1, other side to be R2. Height is H.
Sir, half one only R2, sir, for complete. Means question was for complete triangle, sir.
No, we can, I am telling, I just told you that complete triangle can be easily determined if we know for the right angle triangle. Therefore, let us find for the right angle triangle.
Yes,
After
sir.
that, I will show you how to get from right angle triangle to the complete triangle. Okay. So let us only find out for the right angle. In fact, even if I give you complete triangle, then also what we will do? In that case, also I will take it as composed of two parts. Two parts. Separately, we will determine for two right angle triangles. Separately, we will determine for first. Separately, we will determine for the second one. Here, I am taking only one into account. After that, I will tell you how to do for two also. For case one, let this be theta. H is there, and let us take some element here, and that elemental part will have what flux we are interested in that mainly. So this is at having width dr, and distance of this is r. Height of this we assume to be y. We can determine y very easily by using formula y upon r minus r1. Y upon r minus r1 is tan theta, and that tan theta is also equal to h upon r2 minus r1. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now you tell what will be the flux. Flux will be b into y into dr integral. That will be the flux. What is b? As you know already, mu naught into I upon 2 pi. I have to take r inside only this thing. R is variable. So y into dr divided by r, I think. Right or not?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is value of y? Y is equal to h into r minus r1 upon r2 minus r1. Actually, h upon r2 minus r1 is nothing but tan theta. So let us replace it by tan theta only. Tan theta into r minus r1. Tan theta is also constant. I can take tan theta safely outside. Mu naught I upon 2 pi into tan theta into r minus r1 into dr divided by r integral limits from r1 to r2. That is phi. So what is phi coming out to be? Phi is coming out to be mu naught I by 2 pi into tan theta into, what is the integration? First term is r upon r is 1.
R,
We are simply getting r2 minus r1 after putting the limits, right? Or let me put the limit in the next step. Let me write the integration result. Integration result will be r minus ln r1 into
R1 into
LNR.
LNR.
R1 into LNR.
and limits from r1 to r2. What we get then, mu naught into I by 2 pi into tan theta into r2 minus r1 minus r1 into ln r2 by r1. Okay,
Yes, sir.
that is flux. So we have determined the flux value for the right angle triangle, which has the side parallel to the right angle triangle is away. That is first case. In the case when the side parallel to the right angle triangle, the side which is parallel to the wire, if the side parallel to the wire is placed closer, then that will be second case. That will be slightly different approach in that. What is the approach? I will remember only one formula maybe, and I can get the other. Yes, the total rectangle minus that. Total rectangle minus this lower triangle will be giving us the flux to the upper triangle. What is to the total one? total rectangle has this formula mu naught I h by 2 pi into ln log of r2 by r1. So if I use that here,
Sir,
yes,
okay, sir, how do you tell area is wide here, sir? It's not rectangular, sir.
area is y into dr.
Approximately rectangle only.
What percentage different it has? What is the percentage difference in the area of this as compared to rectangular area? Find out that percentage difference. You will come to know. Take it a trapezium. You know the area of trapezium also or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Take it as a trapezium. Take the closer edge to be at a distance r and the farther to be r plus dr, and use the formula of area of trapezium, and then find out the percentage error that you have committed. You will understand that percentage error in calculation is 0%. What areas I am telling you to find out? First, you find the area of trapezium, and then find the area of this, which area we have taken y into dr. Take the difference of the areas. After taking the difference, let us say the difference of areas comes out to be dA upon the total area. That will be relative change in relative error. Relative error into 100 will be percentage error. But you will come to know that dA is negligible as compared to r when this dr tends to infinity. When dr tends to infinity, dA will be very less as compared to area. What is area? Area is y into dr. In denominator, I will put here y into dr. Okay. Y into dr in the denominator. Numerator, what I will put? Numerator will be this area, which will be very less. Let me tell you what this area is actually. This is equal to half into dr square into tan theta, half into base into height. Height is dr tan theta. So it will become half into dr square into tan theta. That much difference will be there. So this difference, dr cancels, one dr cancels, what we are left with? We are left with 1 by 2 into dr into tan theta divide by y. Divide by y. So what is the error then? Tell me, if dr tends to 0. If dr tends to 0, then error will be
Tends
0
to
only or not?
Yes.
Error tends to
Yes,
0.
sir.
So there is no error in this, 0 error. Okay. So now you tell me what is the value of flux to the upper part, upper half. So R1 closer distance is R1, farther is R2. Now you want to find this. How to find out?
Subtracting 5 by a minus.
Let us say this is 5. Let us call this triangle some name. If I give, then it will be easy. This is triangle 1. This is a triangle 1, and this is triangle 2. So I know phi triangle 1 plus phi triangle 2 is equal to phi in rectangle, and the formula for that was mu naught into I upon 2 pi into, what was the formula? I forgot again. Mu naught IH.
Sir,
Yes.
when we are saying it is a triangle, rectangle, when we divide and join, we can't say that there is big compulsory rectangle. Sir.
I really don't understand what you are saying. Why wouldn't it be rectangle? What is this thing? Tell me.
Sir, we can add that per unit area.
Why is it not a rectangle?
Sir, it can be not isosceles, no, sir. It can be anything.
It can be scalene triangle. Always I can break any triangle into such pieces. What is the problem? I can always break such triangles into any such pieces or not?
Yes, sir.
I can always break it into such right angle triangular parts. Sometimes I may have to subtract also. In this case, if I have to break first triangle, I can take this one. Second, I can take this one. Third, I can take the total one. And the fourth, I can take this one and I can subtract. Because this area is not existing here. I can take the total right angle triangle minus this part. Always we can break it into right angle triangles. What is the problem in that?
Understood.
So what is for the rectangle now? Mu naught I h. H is the, let us say, height of this. Height means actually h is the side length which is parallel to the wire. That side length. And we are only dealing with which cases which are lying in the same plane. What was the formula? ln R2 by R1, because it is easy to remember. I think we can remember it. Not difficult task. Phi triangle 1. Phi triangle 1 was this mu naught I by 2 pi into tan theta. mu naught I by 2 pi into tan theta into R2 minus R1 minus R1 into ln R2 by R1 plus phi of triangle 2. What is phi of triangle 2? Can you tell me finally? Some terms will get cancelled out, it seems. You remember here, don't think this will not, nothing will cancel. Actually, h is also equal to R2 minus R1 tan theta. You know that? This is theta. H is nothing but
Yes, sir.
R2 minus R1 into tan theta. Means, in this case, R2 minus R1 into tan theta is nothing but it is mu naught I h by 2 pi. This term is mu naught I h by 2 pi. Okay. Mu naught I h by 2 pi minus, sorry, I will take this into
Can write final answer.
final answer. Tell me what is the final answer?
Mu naught I h by 2 pi into
Mu naught I h by 2 pi into,
h plus r1 into ln r2 by r1.
we cannot multiply by h again if it is already mu naught h I h by 2 pi.
Not mu naught I by 2 pi, sir, not h.
Mu naught I by 2 pi, now you say, into
H plus r1 into
h plus r1 into
ln r2 by r1.
ln r2 by r1.
H plus
Right.
r1 is in terms, sir.
What?
H plus r1 in brackets.
H plus r1 is whole in bracket like this.
Ah, yes, sir.
Okay. Please someone verify, because if it is wrong, then we will take it wrong in your notes.
Minus
Is it right or not?
minus r2 minus r1 into tan theta.
Minus is also there. Minus.
R2 minus r1 into tan theta.
Don't say minus r1 into r. I told you r2 minus r1 into tan theta is h only.
Yes.
Take it as h only. Minus mu naught into I by 2 pi into
H.
h.
Yes.
Then we are getting mu naught into I upon 2 pi into h. I am taking common into
Sir, R2 by R2 minus R1 into
R2 upon R1 minus 1 and plus R1 upon h. This is what I am getting.
sir mu naught
Yes.
I h by 2 pi into R2 by
Hmm.
R2 minus 1
R2 by,
R2 minus R1 into ln R2 by R1 minus 1. Sir.
is it wrong here?
No, sir, correct. one.
Then this
Correct
is
one.
also from there only it is coming. Mu naught I h by 2 pi.
Yes,
Then
sir,
I am
after
just
solving that, sir.
Sir, plus r1 into ln r2 by r1 again. Sir.
plus. This is again multiplied by ln r. Sorry. Plus R1 by h into ln of R2 by R1, right?
Yes, sir.
That only. That only. And if you want to simplify a little bit, then I will be getting R2 by R1, because there are two terms. Let us convert into one. So it is becoming h plus R1 upon h and
Minus 1.
minus 1 into mu naught I h by 2 pi. That is phi of triangle 2. So you can see that case of triangle is somewhat complicated only, not that simple, because first of all we have to break a triangle into multiple triangles. For each triangle we have to find separate. We can find out together also. It is not compulsory actually. You may be getting wrong impression if you think this is the only way. We can do in this way also. Can you find out for this case? R1.
Both will be
Directly,
same.
sir.
That's it.
R1 here and R2 here. What it will be for this case? And this height is h. Let me tell you that this will have same as
Rectangle.
no, not rectangle, by rectangle. This will have same as the triangle one.
Triangle
is
one
equivalent.
plus
It is equivalent to this R1, R2, and this height is h. They will have equivalent flux, no different flux. Why? because you observe, take one triangular strip, a rectangular strip above, and take rectangular strip below. Whatever this rectangular strip is, let us say it has length y, and it is at a distance r. I can say y upon r minus r1 is equal to h upon r2 minus r1 for both cases. In this case also I can say, but in this case I will use the formula of similar triangles. In similar triangles, ratio of base to the altitude and ratio of the base to the altitude will remain same, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, this formula will be applicable for this case and for that case also. Therefore, answer cannot be different. If our area element has same flux, then by integrating that area element, the final flux will also be same. So this is equivalent to this only. So in general, now we can find for any case once we are able to find out for a right angle triangle. Okay. Next we have for this circle will be slightly tough part. This is not simple. You want to give it a try?
Yes, sir.
Give it a try. Give it a try later on. We can discuss. Right now, I will not be telling it. It will be much time taking. Okay. Next, we can take. I'm leaving some space for it. Next, we can take toroid. Can you tell me what is the flux to the toroid? This is a complete toroid. I am taking just a part of that. It has n number of turns. It has n number of turns. And its cross section is.
Toroids.
Huh?
Through complete toroids.
It is a complete toroid only, but I'm just because I want to draw the diagram of part of it. So therefore, especially because I want to find out the flux through this area, I cannot find out the flux through this area by I cannot show you how the flux through this area will be passing by making this complete diagram. Therefore, I prefer to make this diagram of a part of it. In this part, I am taking a small element of height. Again, I am taking h, and this distance is r. Other one will be r plus dr. What will be the width dr? What is the area flux? Again, tell me flux. Flux will become
Mu naught I by 2 pi into ln of r2/r1.
You know formula, you remember or not? What is the formula for the solenoid? Mu naught into small n I. But I told you in small n is number of turns per unit length. Here I will not write that. Here I will
That is-
prefer to write in terms of total number of turns.
Field na sir, that is.
Wait a second. I'm not saying flux. That is what I'm saying. Field is mu naught into small n into I. Right or not? But I said that in place of small n, we don't write small n, and for toroid, we write it as n upon 2 pi r. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Right or not? I will multiply by area. Don't worry about it. But just I'm trying to recall this thing that it is not small n here. It is n upon capital N upon 2 pi r to remind us that here n is constant. But in case of solenoid, small n is constant. Okay, to remind that you about that thing only. What is the inner radius? Let us say inner radius of the toroid is a, and outer radius is this is a and this is b. R varies from a to b. Let us. Then mu naught n upon 2 pi r into I, that is the magnetic field, into area. What is area of this section?
H into dr.
H into dr is right only. H into dr integral limits
A to B.
a to b. Then answer mu naught n I by 2 pi into h into ln b by a. Getting the flux, right?
Yes, sir.
What is flux through the coaxial cable? Let me draw a coaxial cable first. Coaxial cable means let us say current is
Sir, like annular cylinder, sir.
this current is it is coming from this side, one side to the other side, and then spreading outwards. After spreading outwards, reaching up to some radius b, then this again goes through the surface of that radius along the cylinder and converges as we move towards the bottom of the cylinder. So this is what is happening. Converges back again, spreads out, goes down along the surface, and then converges again. Inner radius is A and outer radius is B. And let us say inner cable is also hollow. So in this inner also it was flowing only along the surface, and on outer also it is along the surface. I am asking you what is the flux between these two?
In hollow and outer surface.
In between this, what is the flux? Means if I take a section here, a rectangular section, what rectangular section I have to take? I have to take a rectangular section which is at what distance from the axis? Which is at the distance A from the axis. This is H. What is inner radius? A, and what is outer radius?
B.
B. Inner is A. And then take a rectangular element again at a distance R. Find out the flux. What is the field first of all in this? If you use Ampere's law, then you will know that by symmetry I can tell the field is same as it will always be for a infinite wire also. What will be B at a distance R? B will be equal to mu naught into I upon 2 pi R, same only. By which law? By Ampere's circuital law. Because I can take a closed loop here of radius R, and I can use this B into 2 pi R will be equal to mu naught into current enclosed, and I can get that formula. This is the magnetic field, and this magnetic field lies only from where to where? From A to B. Does it lie inside A? No. Why not? Because I am taking both are hollow cylinders only. Okay. Current flows up in inner hollow cylinder and then spreads radially outwards. And then it flows downwards to surface of outer hollow cylinder. And then it converges. As shown. Now question is find magnetic flux through the to the vertical section, to any vertical section. Vertical, rectangular, cross section. Lying between two cylinders. So we have got the answer already, I think so, by now, if you have understood it. Because I started writing it just
Same
for
as that
formality.
of the previous case.
Same only as that of previous case, mu naught into I into H upon
H
2
bar
pi
2 pi
ln
into
of
L
B
into
by
B by
B by. Same only because the y formula is same, because derivation is same, the formula will be same only. What is the flux? Flux is equal to B into H into dr integral. If you put the value of V, you will again get those log terms, and here limit of R will vary from A to B. Okay. Right. We will continue finding the flux for several other cases. Probably we can continue doing that. There are many cases possible. No limit. I
Sir,
can ask you. Yes.
in before case, flux outside the cylinders will be zero.
Outside will be 0. Here, if I take any section, it will be 0. It is only from A to B.
Okay.
It is not for outside. It is just from A to B only. And inside also it will be 0. If I take 0 to B, then also same answer. If I take 0 to infinity, then also same answer. Reason is because it exists between A to B. So whether you take from 0 to infinity also, then will our answer change? No. Not only that, if you take the entire plane in one side, from minus infinity to plus infinity along y-axis and 0 to infinity along x-axis, then also same answer. Because in this entire plane, flux is not above, not below, not outside. Flux is only existing where? Only within this region. So answer will be same only. Okay. Sudan.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Right. Next we can now
tell why flux only exists in section.
we can prove by Ampere's law. That is why
Magnetic
Ampere's law. What is Ampere's law? What is the flux due to? What is the field due to Ampere's law here?
Zero, sir.
Net current enclosed 0. What is the due to Ampere's law here? 0.
Yes, sir.
Here 0. Here inside, if I take completely inside A, then also 0.
0.
Understood? All right. Right on. If I ask you one question, which will appear strange, I think, to you, and yes, that will be interesting. Let me ask you. Find magnetic flux passing through magnetic flux passing through y equal to 2 plane. What is your answer?
Sir, wire, sir.
Not given. You think about it and let me think about some other question by that time. Flux I can take later on, maybe.
Sir, it is zero, sir. Closer to
Very good, boys. Very good. You are smart, boys.
Lines
Right.
entering equal to line.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very good. I really appreciate it. You understood it. Because if lines are going from one side to other side of the
They
plane,
must return.
and they must return back only, because it is the entire plane. It has no boundaries. It is extending from minus infinity to plus infinity. So they must enter back through that plane only. Very good, you understood it, right? So next question is,
Take other topics.
that's what I'm thinking. I think because flux we can, now you have got idea, even if they will face some new question, you can still attempt it. But I think I should take that topic now, that is Faraday's law. That I can take now. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. This is also very interesting. Faraday stated that flux, rate of change of flux, d phi by dt, minus of d phi by dt, on which phi magnetic flux here. I'm not writing here phi b. Sometimes I write phi b and phi e, e for electric flux, b for magnetic flux, but mostly I do that when there's a confusion, because in the same question there can be two fluxes involved. One can be electric flux and other can be magnetic flux. But in our present chapter, mostly we are dealing with which flux? Magnetic flux only. So I am denoting it by phi. But same chapter, when I will be taking maybe electrostatics, then I will be denoting phi as electric flux. But in some places there will be situation when both fluxes will be in the same place. Then I will be representing magnetic flux by phi b and electric flux by phi e. Right now I will not differentiate much. I will be writing invariably sometimes phi only, sometimes phi b. Faraday's law of electromagnetic states that EMF induced in any loop, EMF induced in a loop is given by minus of d phi by dt, where EMF induced in a loop equals negative of rate of change of magnetic flux through rate of change of magnetic flux through the loop. When I'm saying through the loop, it means through surface area. Which surface area? Through the surface area for which the loop acts as a boundary. So EMF induced in a loop equals the rate of change of magnetic flux through the loop. I am writing directly. But what does this imply? It implies the loop is acting as a boundary of the area through which we are finding out the flux. Okay. This point is clear. What is EMF meaning? EMF means electromotive force, means we can say EMF is nothing but EMF is equal to minus of E dot dl, minus of E dot dl, that is EMF. And if it is a closed loop, then it will be this. You may be thinking why it is E, what is happening here, what is you know definition of potential difference or not? Minus of E dot
Yes, sir.
minus of E dot dr, right? Or E dot dl integral, that is the definition of potential difference. If I have a potential difference around a closed loop which is non-zero, it is nothing like you have seen before. In KVL, what you study? In KVL, you study that sum of potential drops in a closed loop will be 0. So we will discuss about it in detail. You will understand gradually what that means and how we apply KVL in such situations. Anyway, just I'm briefly introducing it right now. You will not be able to understand everything holistically now only, but you understand that EMF is nothing but it is because of some electric fields which are induced in the space. I told you before, I think you have idea already. Magnetic fields can produce electric fields and electric fields can produce magnetic fields. All we have to do, we have to sometimes change the frame. If we change the frame, does the magnetic field produce electric field or not?
Yes, sir.
If we change the frame, does the magnetic field produce electric field or not?
Lorentz force.
Because total Lorentz force has to remain constant. So means the same magnetic field appears to us as electric field. For example, let us say somebody is holding a magnet. I'm holding a magnet here, and this is North Pole, this is South Pole, and from here the magnetic field lines are emerging and these are entering into the South Pole again. I'm this observer, I'm holding this. But can I say here magnetic field is B in my frame? Yes, I can say probably, I can find it out. But let us say some other person is observing this who is maybe moving with velocity v. What he would see? He would see that this magnetic field is not just magnetic field, but it has some
Electric field.
Sir,
diagram of observer or not?
Sir, not completely.
No,
Not
sir.
completely. Okay. So observer I had drawn here, and I am saying I was trying to explain you what is Faraday's law, and I'm not trusting this minus sign. I don't know sure for sure. Should it be minus or plus? I will derive it. I will find it. I will find out whether it is plus or minus. But for the time being, you just see one thing here, that if a magnet is stationary, magnetic field lines are stationary, right or not? Magnetic field lines will be stationary, and some magnetic field lines will be passing through this loop also, right? Some magnetic flux will be passing through this imaginary loop. The person who is moving with velocity v, for this person, this loop is also moving with velocity v. Okay, you understand that? The person who is moving with velocity v, for this person, this loop is also moving with velocity v. So what Faraday's law states that
Sir, minus v, no, sir. Backward direction it will move. Sir.
why?
Means in his frame it will move
Relative
backward.
motion.
I'm really not understanding. Magnet is moving backwards, I agree. Magnetic is moving backwards, I agree. But the person has this loop attached to the frame. This loop is
Okay,
attached to the
sir.
frame. Okay.
sir.
This loop is attached to the frame. So this loop is moving with the frame. In the ground frame, this loop will appear to be moving in forward direction. In this frame of person, the loop will always be stationary.
Yes, sir.
Whenever, see, in Faraday's law, there are two terms. One term is this term, second term is this term. In right hand side, we are taking magnetic flux through a loop. In left hand side, we are taking E dot dl, let us say, electric field dot dl. But that loop is stationary. In which frame it is stationary? With respect to person who is applying this law. For that person, this loop is stationary only. This loop is not moving. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So what this person states, what Faraday has stated that E dot dl, if I take E dot dl and I start taking this EMF around the closed loop, then it will not come out to be zero in this case. It will be some non-zero value. And what will be the value of that? Value of that will be whatever magnetic field lines through this loop are changing. Will it be changing or not? Because the loop is moving in space. If loop is moving in space, then definitely the magnetic field lines will not remain same as the magnet is stationary. Magnet is stationary, magnetic field lines will be stationary. But we are moving. If we are moving, then what will happen? The flux will change or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Flux
sir.
will change.
Yes, sir.
So as the flux is changing, because of the rate of change of flux, what will happen? There will be EMF induced. And what would be the value of that EMF? Faraday had wonderfully, without knowing much details, Faraday did not state the way I'm stating, because we know much better now the things which Faraday probably himself knew at that time. So I'm able to state in such this way also. Probably in books also you will not find this discussion, okay, which I'm discussing right here. In books you will not find it in that way. But it is actually true that when the loop is stationary and loop is also moving, and then we are finding out E dot dl in a closed loop, it is coming out to be non-zero. We know why it is coming out to be non-zero, because we know the magnetic fields in one frame may be appearing to be like electric fields in the other frame. So in the other frame, when this electric field is appearing, the reason of that electric field, reason of appearance of that electric field is nothing but the motion of this person with respect to magnetic field lines. Or we can say in his frame, the magnetic field line partially will convert into electric field. Okay. And if it is converted into electric field, I don't know what is the value of electric field. See, it is surprising part now. I don't know what is the value of electric field also. But even though I don't know what is the value of electric field, I can very quickly and very easily find out what is the EMF induced in this total if I know how the magnetic flux is changing through the loop, or what is the rate of change of magnetic flux. Is it easy to find out the rate of change of magnetic flux in our this general scenario? Obviously not, because due to magnet I don't even know what are the fields. Then how can I find out the rate of change of magnetic flux? But there will be simple scenarios. Many simple scenarios are possible. One simple scenario will be this. Let me take example of last case only, where we were having this this loop, a rectangular loop. Let us take our rectangular loop here. Let us say now this rectangular loop is the loop along which we are finding out this EMF. This loop is now moving loop. It is not a fixed loop, it is moving loop. Sorry, I'm changing it. This rectangular loop is moving. And this is a current carrying wire which is carrying current I. it is moving with velocity v, because this loop is seen by an observer and observer is also moving with velocity v. Then with respect to this person, the loop is stationary, although, okay, and he is applying E dot dl here. What he finds, if he applies E dot dl in the closed loop, then value of that will come out to be rate of change of magnetic flux. Why there will be rate of change of magnetic flux? The reason is, when this, let us say it is ABCD loop. In ABCD loop, B part will go to B dash, C part will go to C dash. It will go here. There will be extra magnetic flux coming here, and similarly, some flux will be reduced. At which place it will be reduced? A will go to A dash and D will go to D dash. This side the flux will be reduced. You understand that or not?
Yes,
This
sir.
side flux will be
Yes, sir.
subtracted, other side it will be added up. So overall, in this loop, the flux does not remain same, because the flux which is getting subtracted is more, as the magnetic field at a closer point will
It
be
will
more
decrease.
due to the current carrying wire. So overall flux will be decreasing. If overall flux is decreasing, then what will happen here? EMF will be induced. EMF will be induced. So do I have to find out the rate of change of flux to find out the EMF? Yes. And flux is not difficult, because you know already we have found out the flux. What is that formula? Log of, what was that?
Mu
Mu
naught
naught.
I by 2
mu
pi
naught
into
I
ln
by
r,
2
sir.
pi into ln
Ln
R2
R1, R2 by R1, right? So we can
Yes, sir.
differentiate that or not? What will be derivative of R2? Derivative of R2 will be velocity. What will be derivative of R1? Derivative of R1 will also be velocity. Because if it is moving with velocity v, then R1 will be changing with velocity v and R2 will also be changing with velocity v, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So these will be changing, right? It is simple only. These will be changing. So this is the detail. Means this is how the flux. Now, just understand it. But we don't have to integrate anytime. So don't worry about that. How will we integrate? It will become complicated. Nothing like that. So I just told you what it means in reality. That I told you. Now, means there has to be some motion. There has to be some sort of motion in order for the
One doubt.
EMF to be induced. So now there are 2 points of view. Some person will think that there's the motion, the loop is stationary, only flux is changing. But can the flux change automatically without causing any motion? I think not. Some magnetic field lines which were first passing inside the loop, those are coming out of the loop. If those are coming out of the loop, then definitely there is then only there can be rate of change of magnetic flux. And how can those magnetic field lines come out of the loop? Those magnetic field lines can come out of the loop only when either the magnet is moving with respect to loop, or maybe the loop is moving with respect to magnet. These are the ways possible by which we can change the magnetic field lines. Magnet does not mean necessarily this bar magnet. Magnet could be, maybe it is just a current carrying wire which has its own magnetic field. But there should be some relative motion between the wire and the loop. Then only there will be some EMF induced. Understood?
One doubt.
Yes.
In the frame of observer,
Yes.
the loop
Ask.
will not move, no, sir.
Yes, not moving.
Then due to which their flux will be changing.
Flux is changing because of the distance of wire changing from it. Wire is moving with respect to person in backward direction or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So same thing only, no? It will be causing the change in flux. I can cause the change in flux also by increasing the current. If I increase the current, I don't even move anything, but I increase the current. Then by increasing the current also we can cause the change of flux. Point remains
sir.
same only. Always, whether I cause the change in flux by increasing the current or I cause it by relative motion between the wire and the loop, whatever the cause may be, I don't care. Faraday's law is wonderful. It always is equal to minus of d phi by dt. Answer is always same. Whatever the cause may be. The cause may be due to rate of change of current, or the cause may be due to rate of change of the, or it may be just due to the change of shape of the loop. The loop falls rectangular. It may turn into some triangular shape.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know, did you listen or not? I told you this thing, keep in mind that the flux can change without relative motion also. How can the flux change? By changing the current.
Current.
If I increase the current, then there will be no relative motion, but even then the magnetic field will change. If magnetic field changes, flux will change. If flux changes, then the EMF will be induced. Okay. Now,
Sir, one doubt.
Sir,
yes. Ask.
Sir, if a wire moves along the wire, sir, parallel to the current, so then flux won't change.
Then flux won't change, right? Then there will be no EMF.
Sir.
sir, in the above case, with respect to person, then there will be a circuit current will be passing, sir.
If it is a closed circuit, you are right. Not only with respect to person. If it is really passing, then I think we can say in all frames that it will be current will be flowing through it. No? If
Sir,
it is
in
really
above
starts-
case, sir.
Hmm.
Above case.
In which case? In any case. in
At
whatever
this case,
why,
when the person is moving with respect to him, the
why
current,
are you considering this case to be different from that? Magnetic field is there, yes. EMF is there, yes. EMF is there, then will the current be produced? Yes. But there should be some conducting loop here. If it is just a imaginary loop in a vacuum only, then how can the current flow in vacuum? You understand? Then it will be just having EMF, but without any current flow. It is like if I have a battery, it does not mean the current will flow. I have to be having a closed loop in which the conduction can take place or not.
yes, sir. Yes.
Similarly, here
Understood.
also, if it has path for conduction. If it is some conductor here, then definitely what you are saying is right only. Then definitely there will be some current flowing here. Okay.
Due to EMF.
Due to induced EMF, current will be flowing. Very nice. You are understanding it. It will definitely be flowing. Let me write again d phi by dt value. Wait, phi d phi by dt. Phi is this. What is d phi by dt? D phi by dt is equal to, I think I can write it as b into a into cos theta. It will not be that simple also sometimes. Why it will not be that simple? I told you, b into a into cos theta also we can write only if b is constant. If b is variable, then even this also will not be applicable. So let us simplify a little bit in order to understand if b is constant, then what happens? If b is constant, then we can change it flux into this way. And then d phi by dt will be having these terms. How many terms will be there? 3 terms. Use the product rule, u into v into w derivative. What it will be? Take derivative of one term at a time. It will become b into area into d cos theta by dt. That will become, I think, sine theta minus sine theta into d theta by dt. Plus, then it will be b into cos theta into dA by dt. Then third one will be plus a cos theta into dB by dt. This is equal to EMF. EMF has 3 terms. That too in which case? That too in a very simplified case. The simplified case is where B is constant. Then also it has these 3 terms involved. If it is not constant, the thing will be slightly more complicated than that. Okay, we have to first integrate, then only we can differentiate. Anyway, even our simplified case, when there are 3 terms, don't worry and don't get scared. What we are going to do here, we will be discussing one term at a time. One term, second term, and third term. And once we are understanding each term separately,
Sir, your video is
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, wait. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I was saying that there are 3 terms. Did you listen to these 3 terms or not?
Yes, sir.
So I said, but don't get scared because these terms we will take one at a time. We will understand one term separately, second separately, third separately. All we will not be dealing with in one question only. And moreover, one more thing. In physics, we are never that much sure about the signs. We are confused about signs, right? We have observed that it is not easy to tell that what sign we should take. We should take positive or we should take negative. Although Faraday has said us that it should be taken as minus of d phi by dt. What this minus represents here, I have to explain this also. What does this minus represent? Why negative? What negative has to do? So now I will tell you Lenz's law, which will really simplify the things a lot. We don't have to care about signs. Then whenever we are using the Faraday's law, I will use it magnitude wise because I will use a separate law, which is called as Lenz's law, okay, which separately tells us about the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Today you do a little bit reading also. You have to read from S.C. Verma and maybe NCERT. There are 2 laws of Faraday's have 2 laws. Okay. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction there are 2 laws, and one is I think about the direction and the second one is about the magnitude. Okay, overall it is stated in same way only, minus of d phi by dt. What does Lenz's law mean? Lenz's law is nothing but it tells us about the direction of induced EMF. EMF is a scalar quantity. Do you know that or not? EMF is a scalar quantity.
Yes, sir. Potential difference is a scalar quantity.
Although it is a interesting thing now. Although it is a scalar quantity, but I am saying it again and again that we tell about the direction of induced EMF. What do we mean by direction here? Direction does not
plus
mean
or
like,
minus, sir. Plus
yes,
or minus. Where
it is simply like it is clockwise current or it is anti-clockwise current. Means we can have 2 types. No, we can send anti-clockwise current. We can send clockwise current. So depending on that situation, I can say one EMF is positive, other is negative. So it is just like that. It doesn't mean it will follow the vector law of vector addition and I will write E1 vector plus E2 vector, nothing like that. Just plus and minus only. because it could be clockwise or it could be anti-clockwise. That is what we mean by direction when we are saying that EMF of direction can be decided by Lenz law. How to this? What is the Lenz law? It's a wonderful law, and it says that the direction of induced EMF, the direction of induced EMF
Is always
is
opposite.
such that the direction of the induced EMF is such that it always opposes the rate of change of
flux.
it always opposes the rate of change of magnetic flux. Direction of induced EMF in a loop, I think I should have said here, direction of EMF induced in a loop is such that it always opposes the rate of change of magnetic flux through the loop. Okay. Or I think in a better way I could have stated it. This is not better. Better way will be the direction of induced EMF is such that this is better definition. Second definition is better. Direction of induced EMF is such that it opposes the cause which has produced it. It opposes the cause which has produced it. I can give examples. Examples will clarify this thing. If I have a closed loop, for the time being, now I'm not taking imaginary loops, I'm taking really conducting loops. Why? Because I think you will understand that if there's a conducting loop, we can visualize the EMF. How can we visualize? We can assume that there's a current flowing through it. So not assume the current will really be flowing through it. And so we can visualize it. So that we can visualize it properly, I will prefer to take first the loops to be conducting loops. If I have a conducting loop here and I drop a magnet on it, which has north pole below and south pole above, and it is entering into it, then what will happen? The magnetic fields will be increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Magnetic fields will be
Increasing, sir.
increasing. In which direction those magnetic field lines will be increasing? In downward direction. If magnetic field lines are increasing in downward direction, what will be tendency of this loop? It will try to decrease the magnetic field lines in downward direction. How can it decrease the magnetic field lines in downward direction?
North pole it will get, sir. It will repel.
It will try to create its own magnetic field lines which are not pointing downwards, but which are pointing upwards because it wants to repel it. It wants to repel it. So it will, what kind of current it has to produce? Tell me.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Yes, I think you're right. By right-hand thumb rule, if there is anti-clockwise current, then magnetic field lines will be pointing towards dot. These magnetic field lines were going into the plane. These were in cross direction. So if the magnet was falling down, the crosses were increasing. When I'm saying crosses were increasing, you understand what I mean to say. Assume, I told you, assume one cross to be one magnetic field line. So if there are a lesser number of magnetic field lines initially, but as we are getting closer, there will be more number of magnetic field lines passing because magnetic field lines represent the what we call it. Magnetic field lines represent the flux, right? Magnetic field lines passing through the loop will be representing the flux. How many magnetic field lines are passing now? 3. As the magnet becomes closer, don't you know that these 4 and 5, these lines will also be passing through it? So number of crosses will be increasing. To decrease those crosses, it will create its own magnetic field in the dot direction. To create in dot direction, it has to produce the current which will be in which direction?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction. Some students still find it not easy to remember. Then I give them another way to do. I tell them that if I look at the north pole of the magnet, what we see, magnetic field lines are coming towards me or going away from me?
Going away.
Towards us.
This is north, this is south, and I am here, and I am looking at it. So magnetic field lines will be appearing to be coming, not going away, appearing to be coming towards me. North pole, from north pole, magnetic field lines come outside. Okay. Now, if I take a loop here, and if that loop is also giving me current, giving me magnetic field lines in, pointing towards me, then I can assume that the loop is acting like a magnet. I can assume loop is acting like a magnet in which north pole is facing me, right or not?
Yes, sir.
If magnetic lines from the loop are coming towards me, then I can say loop is acting like a magnet in which north pole is facing me. So that is what I'm going to do now. If I have a current carrying wire, which is carrying current in anti-clockwise direction, then magnetic lines come towards me. Because magnetic lines come towards me, I will
Facing
assume
side is north pole, sir.
I will take it like a north pole. What I will do, I will take it like a north pole. I can do opposite also. If somebody tells me that this is a north pole facing towards you, tell what will be the direction of current induced.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise, correct only. You know, logically, you know that it's anti-clockwise. But let us, I have to teach it to a child who is just studying in third, fourth class and he does not know much. I'll give him a trick. And that trick I'm giving to you also. Put 2 arrows here. Put 2 arrows here. If south pole is facing towards you, south pole is facing towards you, put 2 arrows. If north pole is facing towards you, put 2 arrows. Then this arrow, bring it on the loop also. Bring 1 arrow here, 1 arrow here. Similarly, the south pole has this arrow. Bring 1 arrow here, bring other arrow here. What is it? Which direction it is now automatically?
Clockwise.
And this direction is
Anti-clockwise.
anti-clockwise. This is current. So now we have come to know if current is anti-clockwise, then what is towards us? North pole is facing us. If current is clockwise, then south pole is facing us. Okay. Anti-clockwise current means north pole is facing us. North pole is facing us. And opposite, clockwise means current means south pole is facing us. South pole is facing us. And also north pole means magnetic field lines will be in dotted direction. This is B. B is in, sorry, here it is in cross direction by right hand thumb rule. B in direction, B in that direction. Come back to the same experiment now. North pole, south pole, and it is coming downwards to the loop. In another experiment, north pole, south pole, it is going away from the loop with velocity V. Second experiment. Third experiment.
Decreases.
Third experiment, south pole here and north pole, it is going away from it. Downwards, it is going away from it. And fourth experiment here, south pole is coming closer to it. South pole, north pole is coming closer to it. So what is the Lenz law statement? Lenz law says that the loop is induced in such a way, it tries to oppose the cause which has produced it. What is the cause? Cause is that some person is pushing this north pole towards the loop. What it will try to do? It will try to oppose it. How will it oppose that? It will create a north pole of its own to repel the north pole. It will create a south pole of its own to attract the north pole. Why is it attracting? It will always try to oppose because it is going away. If it is going away, it will oppose it. If it is coming closer, then also it will oppose it. How can somebody oppose a thing which is coming closer to me? I can repel it. I can apply force in upward direction. If it is going away from me, then I will apply force in downward direction. How can I apply force in downward direction? By attracting it. How can we attract it? By creating a south pole here. If south pole is created, what will be the loop current in the loop? Current in the loop will be in this way. North pole is created in this way. Understood now how the current will be induced?
Yes, sir.
How the current will be induced. This is induced current. It is not already flowing. It is just induced because of the motion. Because the current is induced because of the motion of the magnet. Therefore, we say there's an induced EMF here. Without any battery, the current is produced just because we are taking a magnet and we are bringing it closer to the loop, or we are taking it away from the loop, we can produce the currents. We can make a bulb glow also. But in order to be able to do that, first of all, single wire will not be enough because the EMF induced in single wire will not be sufficient to glow the bulb. What I need to do, I need to take several number of turns. If I take several number of turns, then on each turn, there will be rate of change of flux. For 2 turns, double the rate of change of flux. For 3 turns, 3 times. For n number of turns, there will be what flux? N into d phi by dt. So EMF will be N into d phi by dt. If EMF becomes so large and I connect a bulb across it, then E square by R will give me what? That will give me power dissipated. Power dissipated will become large. If that becomes large, then bulb can glow. I can really make a bulb glow by taking a strong enough magnet and by making it pass through a coil having large number of turns. Just we have to do some calculations. What is the amount of power required to be able to see the light properly? Okay. but we can do that. What is it now? North and south is approaching. South is approaching.
South,
Will it,
south will repel, sir.
south will be repelling. So south pole will be created. South pole will be created then
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
and clockwise, right? Clockwise current will be induced. Clockwise induced current. Induced current. Right. And what about in this case? If I'm taking,
North, sir.
North, sir.
it will create which pole?
North pole.
North pole, sir. Attract.
North pole. It will create a north pole to attract it. But north pole it will create in which direction? North pole,
Downward, sir.
Down, sir.
downwards north, above it will be
South only.
South.
south. Opposite. One side if it is north, then other side it will be south. From above, we are looking from the top. As looking from top, above we will not see the south pole. Above we will see the above we will not see the north pole. Above we will see the south pole. Below there will be north pole. So from above, if we see, looking from above, we will see the current to be in this direction. Somebody who looks from below, he will be seeing, I will be seeing in clockwise direction. The person who is looking from below will be seeing in anti-clockwise direction. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. This is it.
Time up.
Time is up. I think we can end it here now. And maybe if it is possible, I will take the class in the evening. I will let you know. If I have planned to take, I will let you know. Okay.
Sir,
Fine.
post the notes in the Google Class.
What?
Notes, sir.
Okay.
Post-
Let me send it now only. I will send it. Okay. Okay, then let us end it now.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you.